Go ahead. We were just talking about people understanding, and then I just explained some stuff to you, and you did the most awesome interpretation of what I said to make it make sense. Say it again, please.
Okay. So you're in an abusive marriage, but not
You said
by
people don't understand the real.
people don't understand what really happened with the suicide. It was the only way Lance could heal himself because he was misdiagnosed with the brain injury. He wasn't thinking correctly. He wasn't being himself, but he couldn't help it because of the physical condition and the decline of the mind. It caused him to be aggressive and abusive and insensitive because he was hurting because he wasn't thinking correctly. And he knew that he was bringing you down and didn't want to do that out of love for you. But he couldn't live without you. But at the same time, because of his love for you, he couldn't keep giving you pain on a daily basis because he couldn't help it because of the mental problem. So he just set you free out of love because he's like, it's going to just get worse. I'm not going to let this condition bring you down. I'm checking out. I'm going. I love you. Carry on.
So what's the point of this victory memorial that we're doing at White Springs?
People don't realize the situation is all being misdiagnosed. Even the doctors in his case misdiagnosed it. He went in for help. They didn't know what it was. They didn't understand. They didn't know that he had the brain injury from the military service. Had they known that, it could have been recognized and understood, and both parties in the marriage could have said, hey, I got a condition. It's just like having psoriasis. I got to have medicine. I've got something going on here. I'm going to behave this way, but not out of who I really am, but because of what's going on in my mind from the condition. Had it been diagnosed, there could have been some medication maybe, or some other therapy or something. Or at least people have known what they're working with. And it made all the difference in the world. But nobody knows about it. It's the first time I've ever heard of it, and I'm certain most people haven't. And it's happening to us right now. It's happening to our neighbors. It's probably within your own family. If you got somebody in the military, they're being labeled as PTSD. They're just mean. No, there's a medical problem. Hello, it can be fixed and addressed. Let's research and find out what's going on.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. And you just did a perfect job summarizing what I have not been able to say that has been so very needed to be heard. Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank you for listening.
And those that know the story, pretty much 100% of them have the same conclusion. Why are you acting this way and being so supportive and loving to, you should be in turmoil and rolling around feeling sorry for yourself. No, you see it differently. You know what's going on. And other people need to know so they don't have to go what you went through.
Right.
They can be diagnosed early.
Right. Right.
Prevent.
And CTE has a 50% mortality rate due to self-inflicted.
50%.
50% of people over 50 years old. Right.
And had he known, hey, you've got a medical condition, you're irritable, you're angry, you're flashing out, you're paranoid as can be. Here's why. You're really not that way. You've got something going on with your mind. We've got some medication to help reduce the swelling. We're going to do some research or some study, maybe some other therapy. But now you know what you're working with. Give yourself a break.
And how cool was it?
You're actually okay, but you got a problem. And the symptom is aggression. The symptom isn't a rash. It's in the voice.
Right.
In the mannerisms.
Right.
That's the symptoms of it.
And how cool is it that despite having that debilitating degenerative brain disease, he was able to get his 30-day AA clean chip just 3 days before he passed. So he had that huge personal accomplishment, and he fought that demon and won.
Yep. So he still said, hey, I need help. I'm going to try this. Here's a path. Still working on trying to find a solution.
And his prayer journals and
doing the best he could.
And everything else, that's all he wanted, was he was doing the best he could. So this volunteer day is to love on our neighbors and love on God the way I wish I had been able to love on him if I had understood the full gravity and the full diagnosis and the full, but I didn't understand that.
We had to lose a life to get to this point, but perhaps
it will not be in vain.
Many, many lives will be saved.
Right. It has to.
Many relationships will be healed.
In the Victory Garden, and giving back to the community and loving on our neighbors and opening up that property instead of shutting it down in fear and confusion and everything else. I want to experience the truth and have the entire town experience the truth too, because the truth is so, so good. And the truth is we can heal organically if we just concentrate on those closest to us first and get in their business and figure them out and love unconditionally, even when things aren't nice or pretty, to never give up. And in the end, I don't think Lance gave up on God or me. I think he fulfilled the greatest thing. The last thing he did was very similar to the freedom that Jesus gave all of us on the cross. It was just in a much smaller scale, but the only scale Lance could do that. And what he did was set me free to tell the rest of the story. And that's the greatest gift there is. So happy Shabbat. And thank you for having Shabbat dinner with me tonight, Matt.
My first one.
Yay! More to come, right?
More to come.